right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. The time is 5:34, and we will call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District held today on August 8th, 2023, and beginning at 5:34. We do have a quorum, and so we would like to then proceed with item 1B, a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on to item 1C, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Brianna Vela Garcia.
Good evening, Mrs. President, board members, Dr. Corton, administration, audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Kaiser Garcia, a fourth grade student from Bonham Elementary. Kaiser is the son of Samantha Cantu, and Kaiser was part of Bonham Elementary's national qualifying chess team. Last year was his very first year to ever play, and look where he got. Kaiser loves to act, and he was the lead actor in his school's production of The Jungle Book last year. He's a straight-A student and has been a top AR reader for the last 4 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kaiser Garcia will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated.
Good job. Kaiser, would you mind coming up here? I want to give you something. You did such a super job, and we're so glad to have you here. And you know, since you led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, would you like that special flag? You can remember tonight, and we're going to remember you. Great job. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Madam President.
Yes, sir. Dr. Pettis.
Kaiser, did I understand correctly? Were you Mr. Mowgli in the Jungle Book? Yeah. Oh my God. How amazing. I have to tell you a funny story. Well, funny because I was also Mr. Mowgli. I was Mowgli when I was a fifth grader. Can you imagine? Except I couldn't play chess. So you're already well ahead of me, sir. So I'm just going to start calling you doctor now. I think you're a future doctor. I'm pretty sure about that. But very impressed with you, and obviously your mom and your parents did a great job with you. So keep up the great work, and we hope to see you back here at many more board meetings celebrating all your amazing accomplishments. So will you promise us to come back? Awesome.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pettis. All right. Let's move on now to item 2, awards and recognitions with, again, Brianna Vela Garcia on the recognition of Valley Morning Star 2023 Reader's Choice Award.
Mrs. President, trustees, Dr. Corton, administration, audience. Tonight we are recognizing 2 outstanding HCISD schools for a recognition of success they have received from our community. Each year, Valley Morning Star subscribers and viewers submit their best of the best when it comes to places they love and enjoy in Harlingen. They choose the best place to buy a burger, pick up dry cleaning, get your teeth cleaned, and they also choose which schools they love their children to attend. And each year, HCISD always makes the mark. This year, our community voted on 2 of our schools, one for Best Elementary and one for Best High School. The campuses have been invited to a citywide breakfast this week to celebrate this accomplishment. And as soon as the paper has the banners printed, they'll each be receiving a big banner to put on outside their campuses. So Dr. Reiniger and Dr. Corton, I'd like to invite you forward for a group photo with each of our school representatives. If you can't tell, they brought a big fan club, but we're going to invite everyone up who wants to be in the photo. So Valley Morning Star Reader's Choice Best Elementary Award goes to Bonham Elementary.
Okay, everyone ready? Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3.
If y'all want to go stand up here for our big group photo, we're going to have it at the end.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We've also earned a recognition for Best High School, and the Valley Morning Star Reader's Choice Award for Best High School goes to Harlingen High School South.
I'm happy for all of them.
Okay, guys. Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3.
I'd like to invite our Board of Trustees forward for a big group photo with everyone.
Okay, everyone? Everyone ready? Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's the best of it. That's the best of the best. That was good. That, it's bread. HEB will have it where it's 48 hours.
Okay. Okay. I don't see it.
If you ever go to the West Coast, that's what you want to do.
Just as a recognition here, you know, I think it's for one thing, we know how much we value the opinions of our community, and we know how hard each and every school works to serve our community. So it really is just a tremendous honor that we get to see Bonham and South this year being recognized. So congratulations. We know the South folks said, you know, we got Meet the Parent going on right now, and we got this going on. We know y'all are busy, so it is really our honor to get to recognize you. Congratulations. I know you're going to have a great year. Thank you for being here.
Madam President,
yes,
really
please.
quickly, I just want to do a huge shout out to Bonham Elementary because I think there's a couple of us that are alumni up here. So yay, super, super proud of y'all.
Very good. Any other comments? I will entertain them. If not, we'll.
No,
Well, please.
I'm just super happy to see Bonham on this list because, I mean, I think we all know Bonham is a special place for us, you know, growing up. But to have Bonham as one of my schools this last year and be able to visit and see the awesome things that you all are doing, and the chess team, awesome this year, And I did get to go see the Jungle Book and took my son who went to Lee Means, right? And he went and saw it and he was like, wow, this is Bonham. I'm like, yes, it is, right? So look at the amazing things that they're doing, and to have a huge cast of all of your kiddos and staff that prepared them for that. So super excited for you all. And I know you have Meet the Teacher tomorrow. And so I'm really excited for that next group of kids that's going to get to come in and benefit from everything that you all are doing. So congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
super. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll move on to approval of the consent calendar. There, trustees, there are some items that we would like to pull out and make special note of this year. Item 1, sorry, I'll say it the other way. A1 is for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, which will be for the month of September, and we will recognize it during that time. Throughout that month, we honor our fighters, our survivors, and our angels. And students and staff will be encouraged to wear gold throughout that month to increase public awareness. So that's one of the items there. And then another that I'd like to pull out for your consideration is proclamation for National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And September is also National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Throughout this month, our district will also promote mental health awareness and suicide prevention by sharing important information and resources within our school district and the community, generally with students, families, and staff, so that we can increase awareness. So those two items I wanted to point out. Dr. Corton, I think there's a few others you wanted to point out, and then we'll take a motion for approval.
Sure. So also have some bid items that I wanted to share as well. Under instructionally related expenditures, there's 2 renewals that you'll see on our list for college entrance exam tests. We know the importance of college career and readiness in our district, and so we're renewing that. And we're also recommending a renewal of our secondary sheltered instruction coaching. We know the power of instructional coaching and working with our teachers to make sure that they're meeting the needs of all of our English language learners. And so we have those 2 items there. New for this year, we're recommending the approval of T-TEST aligned professional development. We certainly want to make sure that as our administrators are evaluating our teachers, they have all the skills and the latest PD with that. And so I'm excited to be able to bring that forward. And then lastly, a couple of bid items under facilities and operational expenditures. We want to make sure that we have everything in stock, ready to go with Mr. Tapia and his team. And so those are 2 additional bids that we have under consent.
Thank you, Dr. Corton. All right, do I have a motion for the approval of the consent calendar?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion as presented.
Thank you. Dr. Muniz, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval of the consent calendar, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Now, moving on to item 4, public comment for agenda topics. Ms. Leffner, do we have any public comment for agenda topics?
Madam President, there are no requests for public comments for agenda topics.
Thank you. And we'll just move right into public, item 5, public audience for non-agenda topics. Ms. Leffner, any there?
Madam President, there are no requests for a public audience for non-agenda topics.
Thank you so much. All right, moving to item 6, matters related to transformation and school support. Our first item, Dr. Corton, Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee Report.
Yes, thank you. So this month, we highlighted 2 great topics. One topic, the first topic, was presented by Lori Romero. She shared with us our instructional systems and our continuous cycle of improvement. And as part of our planning for this school year, she has done an incredible job structuring what those systems are going to look like so that we can ensure that we have everything that we need in our schools and with our leaders to have this continuous cycle of improvement. That includes looking at data And it also includes looking at feeder campuses so that our middle schools are working with their feeder elementaries. We strengthen collaboration that way, and we certainly want to have a mechanism to share best practices around the district. Excited about that. I know our principals are going to be working closely with one another, so looking forward to the future of that. Secondly, we also, Coach Davies presented our second topic called Operation Plugged In. We are on a mission to make sure that every student is plugged into something that makes their heart sing when they come to school. Aside from academics, we know that Goal 2 is all about hashtag beyond the classroom, and that's really what the goal of Operation Plugged In is. We are going to be working very closely with our ACE director so that we can have student opportunities for after-school enrichment time. All of our Operation Plugged In eventually will be across the district, but we're going to start by targeting our sixth graders, our incoming sixth graders to middle school. Coach Davies and Mrs. Ayala will make sure that every student has something that they're plugged into at the sixth grade level, starting there and then expanding. Eventually, in the fall, later in the fall, we'll be looking at our fifth graders and getting them plugged in as well, so that they can be. We can build some excitement around coming to middle school. Sometimes middle school can be a little scary, right? But as we're working with our fifth graders, it's not as scary if they know the place, they're familiar with the opportunities, and they start that collaboration early. So proud of the work that Coach Davies has done. He is also working alongside Kara Hoflinger, who is with us in the audience as well. And so athletics and arts will be collaborating and making sure that we get Operation Plugged In up and running. And with that, I will also have Mr. Powers, if you'd like to add anything. I know you're a fabulous chair for that Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee.
It's been a wonderful learning experience. Transformation and learning. No, great. Thank you to Lori Romero for a great program. The data that they're using now and working with all of our principals and our teachers at the front end of each year will help enhance our progress, our student progress throughout the year. And the collaboration between campuses that are doing things in a certain way that's been more beneficial than maybe others aren't, sharing those ideas and working, those people going to the other campuses is just a wonderful idea. Coach Davies, also great program. The whole idea is to get kids motivated, get them engaged, our theme this year, one of our themes. And we want kids to come to school. We want them to want to come to school. And Coach Davies and Hope are putting these programs together to get kids excited about something that they're interested in and makes them want to get involved. And I think it's just a great idea, great program. And thank you for both of y'all's hard work on this.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. Moving on, let's have Ms. Holflinger present on a report regarding partnership with UTRGV College of Fine Arts.
Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Corton, board members, senior team, administration, and audience. I'm so excited to be here with you today, presenting to you about a vibrant new partnership that our department has been able to form with the College of Fine Arts at UTRGV just within this last year, and largely due to new leadership on their campus, Dr. Jeffrey Ward, who is here with us this evening. Dr. Ward, when he first came in just this past year, immediately reached out and to our district, to multiple districts, and said, hey, let's talk, what can we do? And he's done an incredible job allowing us to have the time to collaborate and work together. So I'd like to share with you all today some of the partnerships that we were able to create this past year and how they benefited our kids, and more partnerships that we're going to expand on for this next year that we are super excited about. So on the screen we have a list for you, but in this past year, it started off in the fall. Dr. Ward brought us all over to UTRGV. He brought together fine arts administrators, he brought together communities, organizations, businesses, all having to do with the arts, brought us all together for the Council of Outreach and Arts Entrepreneurship. And during this time, he separated us out, and we all got to have conversations about how to not only enliven the arts within our students, but also within our communities across RGV. And what we discovered in those conversations was we all had a common thread, and that common thread was UTRGV. They touch every single one of those components. And so we all got together and said, okay, how can this happen? And we gave feedback. And through that feedback, we've been able to benefit from an Arts Ed conference where several of our teachers went and presented to the students at UTRGV on education. We also have been able to benefit from the performance of Mariachi Aslan, who is their amazing organization and performing group at UTRGV at our Mariachi Festival. Through that, they reached out to our students, all of the high school mariachi students. In the fall this past year, Ida Cuevas, the Queen of Mariachi, came down to the Valley and performed in Brownsville, and they said, hey, bring your kids, it's free. And so our kids got to go and see that, and it was just magical for all of them to see that lit up in real time. We've also been able to work with Dr. Gamboa, who is the orchestra director over at UTRGV. We put on a children's concert, and for many children, it's the first time that they've seen a live symphony orchestra. Bust them over to the PAC this past February, and they still are talking about how wonderful it was to be able to have that educational experience. And then master classes, the teachers have been reaching out to Dr. Ward like none other. Hey, how can we help you with All Region? How can we help your district? Getting them engaged and getting our students to get to know them. We're very, very grateful for that resource. This year, we're continuing all of these same things and we're expanding. Dr. Ward and I are working on a Distinguished Artist Series for specifically our theater students and bringing them in to be able to work workshops with our students. We're also looking at beefing up our theater art. One of our goals for this year within our visual art is to work with TAEA, Texas Art Educators Association, towards a District of Distinction Award. And so Dr. Cabrera from UTRGV is going to be helping us and mentoring us through that process. So she just finished a PD with our visual art teachers on Monday, which was wonderful. So we're wonderful to have that partnership. We're also expanding the children's orchestra concert to our secondary orchestra students as well this year. And big highlight for UTRGV and for HCISD is the new addition of our UTRGV marching band. And so this year, under the leadership of our very own Ronnie Rios, they're going to be getting everything working, and we are happy that they're going to be using Bogus Stadium for their practices on Thursdays and Wednesdays at different times of the year. We're also excited that they're going to be celebrating with us, and we're going to be hosting their first performance at band night this year on October the 4th. And so our students are going to get to see that element. And not only is that great for the campus, it's great for our community, for the full 956. It's also great for our educators coming out of there to be able to have that real experience and really be able to learn how to implement what they're learning at what they're going to see at secondary. So we are very grateful for that and excited for that partnership and willing to help in any way, sir, that we need to be able to continue to grow the College of Fine Arts and continue to grow the Fine Arts Department here in HCISD. So we wanted to explain all of that and let you all know that there is so much that we have done in 1 year with this wonderful, wonderful organization and this exemplary college. And we look forward to that partnership moving forward and all the wonderful things that they will do. And with that, we would like to recognize Dr. Ward and his College of Fine Arts from UTRGV as heroes for Harlingen and present you with a plaque this evening. And so if you would, at this time, I would like to request the board and Dr. Corton to come down for a photo. And this plaque will go on the wall here at the board building. So thank you.
Now we're going to have to do one with the
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Another one, 1, 2, 3. Ready, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3.
Well, thank you all for what you do for the arts in the school system. I came up through public school, I taught high school choir for 7 years, and when I see the amazing work that's being done in Harlingen, not only your support, but obviously the support of the families that you serve, and it is an amazing environment. I was able to see Sister Act and Fall, and just there's a snippet of the quality that you guys are putting on, and so I'm grateful for you all and your dedication and commitment to the arts, and just looking forward to looking at that list and seeing next year's who's normal. Thank you all. Very nice to see you.
Trustees, any comments?
Just real quickly, just thanks for being here, Doc. It really means a lot. First of all, your passion for what you do, but also your recognition for our passion for in the same space. But it only gets better with this collaboration, so that's why I really appreciate the collaboration with our school district, and we can't wait to see more and more things come to life as UTRGV continues to transform itself. And especially with all the spirit programs and everything else. And so thanks for including Harlingen, and thanks for coming to Cameron County. More often. We appreciate you being over here. So thanks for being here tonight as well. So super excited about about the future. So.
That's great. Other?
Dr. Redding?
Yes, sir.
I
Please,
just
Mr.
want to
Hummus.
kind of echo what Dr. Pettis said. The arts are such a huge part of our identity here in Harlingen, and I can only expect that it's going to get better, and our kids are going to have so many more opportunities to shine in what they love to do. I also want to take this time to thank Kara for all the work that you do to get us to that point. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hummus. Dr. Corton.
I would love to comment. So first of all, yes, you have been a wonderful friend to our district, and I echo what Mr. Hymas said with Kara. I think that she's done an extraordinary job. She's just quietly and gracefully just moving this partnership along. So yesterday I had the opportunity to go and visit with and address our fine arts teachers. And I shared this with them, that I am forever grateful for what arts has done for my two girls. And I said, we were at the PAC, and I was in front of the stage, and I said, when they stand back here on this stage, they're like 10 feet tall. They are invincible, right? But what it has done for them and all of their programming and being on stage, it has done something magical for those girls. And I think of all of the confidence that our kids leave with from our fine arts programs, it's just unsurpassed. So I just want to say thank you. I know you all are always brainstorming. I know we have a couple of goals for the year. I'm sure we're going to meet them and surpass them. But I just want to say thank you. Today we don't even know what the impact is going to be in our system. And this is our second year. But as I look to the future, I can't wait to see what years 5, 6, and 7 look like. And yes, you always have a home here in Harlingen CISD. So when we got the call about, hey, is Boga Stadium available? Why, yes, it is, as long as it's beneficial as well for our students. So anyway, just forever grateful for everything that you all have done, and can't wait to see what we're going to be doing in these next few years. And thanks for being here.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. So a few points of thanks as well. I feel like there's a tremendous role model story that we should be telling about you and your leadership as a leader in fine arts at UTRGV. And Ms. Holflinger, when you were listing all of the different faculty and programs, et cetera, that's how that's how it should be. And so thank you for bringing that to life, because we know that's special, and that's really your leadership and both of you working together. Good grief, the dynamic duo there. So thank you for blessing our district and our students with these opportunities. Look forward to working with you going forward as well. Thank you.
And Madam President, just lastly, I think she was trying to contain her excitement because every time she talks about the partnership, she gets very animated. And so great job presenting tonight, Kara.
Composure.
That's right. That's right. Inside, she's doing this, right?
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. Well, Ms. Hoflinger, I think you need to come back because we have consideration of approval of out-of-state student travel for Harlingen High School South Band to travel to Orlando, Florida, May 29 through June 2, 2024.
Madam President, Dr. Corton, board members, senior team, administration, and audience. I'm coming here to our consideration of approval for out-of-state student travel for Harlingen High School South Band, travel to Orlando, Florida, May 29th through June 2nd. They are going to be actually going to Florida and performing in a recording studio workshop, which is going to give them the experience of what it's like to create a soundtrack in the back of having an actual movie going at the same time, and have that experience and visit Walt Disney World and Universal Studios. The administration recommends the board approve of state travel for students and directors as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Hoflinger. Do I have a motion?
Motion for approval as presented?
Thank you, Dr. Perez and Mr. Jaimez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. Good luck, enjoy it.
Fun, thanks.
That's right. All right, moving on to item 7A, consideration for approval of workers' compensation coverage bid WKCP 0723. Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, Dr. Corton. So item A is the consideration of the approval of workers' compensation coverage. So the district solicited requests for proposals for insurance coverage for workers' comp. Notice was sent to 35 vendors with only 3 responding. So Claims Administrative Services was one, TASB was the other, and USI Southwest was the third one. They all submitted, on their first proposal, submitted fully funded proposals at the following amounts respectively. $795,000, $97,816, $895,576, $590,257, and $669,968. In addition to that, to these proposals, Claim Services submitted a 1-year proposal with aggregate deductible policy with an administration fee of $148,431 and an aggregate claims liability of $672,914 for a total maximum liability of $821,345. In addition to that, they also submitted a 3-year option with a maximum liability of $813,924, and also a 5-year option with a maximum liability of $806,502. TASB submitted an aggregate deductible policy with an administrative fee of $151,600 and an aggregate claims liability at $852,624 for a total maximum liability of just a little bit over $1 million. So we have been with TASB since 2001 under the aggregate deductible policy, and we are averaging $438,000 worth of workers' comp on a yearly basis since then. So we are currently recommended to renew with TASB as indicated with a $1,400 increase from the prior year. We'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Do I have a motion for this?
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leal. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. So any questions or comments about that before we vote? Okay. All those in favor of approval, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's go to item C, consideration of approval of insurance coverage for school professional legal liability, general liability, employee benefit liability, privacy and information security. did I? No?
Health insurance
I think,
premiums?
it's the health insurance.
B, item B. Yes.
Sorry. Okay, I'm back on track. Item B. Still Mr. Mendoza. Consideration of approval for health insurance premiums effective January 2024, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Board members, Dr. Cortan. So item B is the consideration for approval of health insurance premiums effective January 24th. After reviewing our self-funded insurance plans and after meeting with our benefits committee earlier today, we are recommending no changes to our 4-group health insurance plans for our district. All premiums will remain the same as last year. A copy of the premiums is provided in your packet. We currently contribute $502.18 per employee per month, and our district covers 100% of that cost. And we are recommended to renew with Blue Cross Blue Shield. McGriff, our consultants are here as well as Blue Cross Blue Shield. Earlier today, our chair for our benefits committee, Mr. Jaimes, was there, and we will welcome him to share any observations he has on that particular meeting on our renewal.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. No, I just, want to reiterate what we talked about there, and that's the opportunity to offer our employees healthcare at no cost, and I think Dr. Cortan said we're the last district that is able to do that. There was also good conversation around some of the wellness programs that we're bringing to our employees, and I think the conversation behind that was also not just providing them, but promoting them and make sure that our employees know that we have that available to us. So thank you all for the work, to Scott and your team. Thank you for the work you do for us. And with that, I'll make a motion to approve the health insurance premiums effective January 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes.
Madam President, I need to abstain from voting on this item.
Thank you. That's noted. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Dr. Cano Monreal. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, the ayes have it. Motion passes for 7B. Moving on to item 7C, Mr. Mendoza, if you'll talk us through item 7C.
Thank you, Madam President, board members, Dr. Cortan. Item 7C is the consideration for approval of insurance coverage for school professional legal liability, general liability, employee benefits liability, privacy and information security, auto fleet and liability, and violent acts coverage bids as well. So we received 2 bids, one from Carlisle Insurance, submitted a total bid of $282,459 for those coverages. And TASB submitted a bid in the amount of $195,498 for all products. A recap of the bids is included on your in your packet. So we recommend to award this particular bid to TASB in the amount of $195,490. This presents a decrease of 22 buckaroos as compared to last year.
Say that.
There was a decrease from last year of $22.
We'll take any decrease we can get, sir.
Good job.
That's right, that's right. All right, thank you. Mr. Mendoza,
Thank
do
you.
I have a motion on item 7C?
I move that we approve it as recommended by staff.
Thank you. In a second?
Second.
Thank you.
I have one question. for you.
Please.
Raymond, how, is this typical every year that we only have like two or three companies that bid?
Well, we hadn't bidded this particular product since 2001. So,
You just
we
always stay
decided
with
we needed
TASB?
to bid, we discussed it with our interim superintendent, we decided that we needed to bid this particular item this year.
Well, there's a pretty substantial difference in these 2 bids. so-
That is correct. Yes,
so-
sir.
And the fact that it went down, it didn't go up with all the other costs that are going up. it's-
That is correct.
it's
TASB
great.
is a pool of school districts that pretty much try to remain our costs down as far as the premiums, different insurance that they offer. So that's what one of the main purposes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Powers, a second by Dr. Moniz. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 8A, consideration for approval of the continuance of sick leave bank for 2023-2024, Ms. Scoggin and Ms. Cortez.
Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Madam President, board members, Dr. Corton, superintendent staff. Agenda item 8A is a request for the continuance of the sick leave bank for the 23-24 school year as per the employee leave regulations. In the action portion of the agenda, there is a report of the sick leave bank days used in the 22-23 year and the number of days available in the bank. This does not include any new members who may enroll in the 23-24 year. The sick leave bank was created to provide additional paid sick leave to its members in the event of a catastrophic illness or catastrophic injury, which leaves a member unable to perform his or her services and causes substantial loss of income. Your consideration for approval is appreciated, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Cortez. Do I have a motion, please, for this item?
I move that we approve the continuance of the sick leave bank for the 2023-2024 year.
Thank you, Dr. Cano Monreal.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dr. Muniz. Any questions? All right, all those in favor of approval for the continuance of the sick leave balance indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign for opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving on to 8B, consideration of approval for sick leave bank handbook for 2023-2024. Ms. Goggin and Ms. Cortez.
Thank you again, Madam President, board members, Dr. Corton, superintendent staff. Item 8B on the agenda is your approval of the sick leave bank handbook. The handbook is a guideline to such matters as eligibility and regulations for joining the bank, process of requesting days, granting days, duties and responsibilities of the committee. There are no changes to the procedures or the handbook of the sick leave bank. Your consideration for approval is appreciated, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on this item, please?
I'll move to approve the sick leave bank handbook for the 2023-2024 year.
Thank
second
you. Thank you, Dr. Cano Monreal and Dr. Muniz. Any comments or questions? All right, all those in favor of approval indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Cortez. All right, moving on to item 8C, discussion and possible action to consider superintendent's recommendation regarding designation of 10 non-business PIA days for consideration of Public Information Act requests for calendar years 2023-2024. Ms. Goggin.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, board members, senior team, and audience. House Bill 3033, passed during the regular legislative session, amends the Public Information Act by limiting the number of non-business days for school districts. School districts may now designate no more than 10 non-business days within each calendar year for purposes of the PIA. Authority to designate districts' non-business days is provided solely to the Board of Trustees. Administration recommends approval regarding designation of 10 non-business PIA days for consideration of Public Information Act requests for calendar years 2023 and 2024.
Madam President, I move approval of the item as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you, Dr. Perez, and thank you, Mr. Jaimes. I have one question. Do we need to know the specific days at this point? Are they're listed in our packet somewhere?
Yes, I think that the dates are listed.
Could you just share them with the group?
Go ahead, read it.
Sure.
I think there's a motion, go ahead, we're gonna.
Okay.
We're gonna, yeah.
I'll make the motion again. I move that the district designate for calendar years 2023-2024 the following 10 non-business PIA days for consideration and responses to Public Information Act requests. In 2023, October 19th through 20th, November 20 through the 22nd and 24th, December 26th through the 29th, and the following dates in 2024 for years going forward until further action by the board. January 4th and 5th, March 14th and 15th, November 26th and 27th, December 23rd, 24th, and 26th and 27th.
Second the motion.
Thank you. All right. Any questions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jaimes and Dr. Pettis. All right, and thank you, Ms. Scoggin, for good clarification. And finally, item 8D, consideration of approval for the recommended revisions to policy update 121 and local policies DNA, EIC, FC, and FFA on second reading. Ms. Scoggin.
Thank you so much, and good evening again, Madam President, board members, senior team, and audience. Policy Update 121 includes revisions to legal policies based on legislative and regulatory changes. Changes to local policies offered for consideration addressed fixed assets, integrated pest control, competitive bidding, competitive sealed proposals, compensation plans, admissions, bullying, and security personnel. Administration recommends approval on second reading of the recommended revisions to Policy Update 121 and local policies DNA, EIC, FC, and FFA as discussed at our Policy Audit Committee meeting in July.
Thank you, Ms. Scoggin. Do I have a motion on this item, please?
I'll move for approval as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, the second.
Second?
Thank you, Mr. Hamas. All right, any questions or comments? All right, then, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item 9A, Facilities and Safety Committee Report. Mr. Tapia.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Corton. August 1st, we had a Facility Safety Committee meeting. First item we talked about was a presentation of the school safety 3-year security audit. We had a representative from Region 1, Fred Rendon, who gave an overview of the report. He discussed some supplemental tools that were used for the audit, like school survey, student intruder assessments, Texas School Safety Center checklist, and went over revisions and updates to the emergency operations plans, which are now aligned with some new state laws. Gave a summary of key findings and a recommendation to train all key staff in NIMS and ICS systems. Commendations included that we work with the local law enforcement in updating our EOP. We have structured visitor protocols. We conduct active shooter trainings, inspections of fire codes. We have school officers on campus, staff intruder awareness, and secured points of entry. So the next steps now are to complete the audit. There's 2 or 3 schools left. They'll then finalize the report and present to the board in executive session, which is required. And then we're required to submit the final district audit report by September 15th. Then went on to discuss possible drainage infrastructure and fencing at Dishman Elementary. I discussed 2 community members from the Combs area about storm drainage improvements that they're working on with the drainage board to increase the pipe size under the expressway where Dishman is. And once that's completed, that they got some grant funds that if we could make some improvements in our property to help drain the waterway. As you know, we've had a lot of flooding issues there in the past. So I gave some information on that and also about a possible fencing project we can do with the neighbor on the east side running on the expressway. But the fencing, we can't do fencing off of our side on private property, but we will be looking at increasing the fencing size on Dishman Elementary. Then reported ESSER-funded projects, update on the Coakley and Wilson and Long schools. We've already completed the 26 new rooftops at Wilson and waiting for the Long units to come in November. Gave an update of the Harlingen High School project roofing, which is a pretty big project. I'm sorry, that's at South and Vela and Early Childhood. That one's just starting. They're just trying to get the permit from the city, getting all the submittals approved from the architect, and that's actually commencing this week. The big roofing project at the high school, we're working on wings 4 and 7, and that are complete and dried in with the felt. They just need the cap sheets, and they're moved on to wing 6, and they're doing painting on the exterior doors and frames, and the glass storefront that were ordered in certain areas don't come until September. Roofing at other campuses, this is another project under Janak Architects, is the Administration Annex building across the street here. That one's pretty much done, and now they're working at the Vernon Library roof. Central plant upgrades at the high school, the installation of the condenser water pumps, the water piping, and the chill water piping are all complete, and they've already turned those chillers on and removed the temporary cooling unit that we had. The paving and drainage at SAC, they're about 70% percent complete and pouring concrete in a lot of the driveways. Now they're working on the bus paved driveway on the side of the school and waiting for a landscape package so we can finalize that. The Early Childhood Academy outdoor learning spaces, they did the demolition. They're working on pouring the new sidewalks and play areas, underground storm drains, irrigation lines for sprinkler systems, and they're going to try to have about a third of it finished for the first week of school, so they can have additional areas to work on. Renovations to the high school, metal panels for the band hall came in, so they'll be working on that, pouring some more concrete on the quad area and working on the landscaping sprinkler systems. The wood floor in the Cardet Hall has been completed, and they're working on the wood ceiling treatment on the main corridor, which is about 40% complete. And ceramic tile work on the outside is also complete. That was in the plans. The Performing Arts Center, the lighting, the new house lighting is on, and should be in full display at our kickoff this week. Culinary arts upgrades at the two high schools. Those plans are finalized. We just got a color board that we need to share with the principals to make sure they're going to like the colors and the design. And we're bidding that out. Bids will be received on August 24th, and we'll take it to the September board meeting for possible award consideration. Coakley and Verdon gyms, we're working on getting those the stage partitions are going to be new gym bleachers, which are telescopic, new wall panels. And we also are adding additional bleachers, seating, which is a change order you'll see after this item that's on the agenda. And some of the work that we're doing in-house, we hired Newman's Flooring to do the gym floor. They already sanded it. They're doing striping. Already varnished under the bleachers that were moved. Now the bleachers have been put back. Now they're working on the middle section. We got 3 quotes for painting, which is on the agenda today as well. That they'll start interior painting on the gym. And we're seeking quotes on a new sound system for the 2 gyms as well that we're doing ourselves. The parking lot lighting, which is the poles that we said that at Vela and this parking lot here at Administration Building, we had a lot of rusted poles that were in danger of falling. One had already fell, and we took them down, and we're engineering new poles with lights, and that one's also under advertisement. We should get bids August 24th, and hopefully bring back a recommendation for September for award. I discussed a lot of fencing projects that we've done at 11 school sites, from completed, those in progress, and a couple of more underway. Total almost $808,000 that we've done in the past 6 months or so. And I presented a change order to the Coakley Gym that we just talked about, and a final payment for Zavala. Those were discussed in detail in the Facilities Committee meeting. And then Raymond Mendoza finished up with giving an update on the financial report on TRE fund expenditures. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Bettis for any additional comments he may have.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tapia. So for starters, we appreciate our visitor from Region 1 on the Safety Committee report for obviously coming and give us a lot of great information, and we can't wait to see the outcome of those visits to our schools and any ideas we have that they have from Region 1 that can help us improve the safety of our schools. We really appreciate that. So, and of course, while we're on that topic, a big shout out to Danny Castillo and your team for continuing to do just state-of-the-art job and as best practices job, I think, of creating a model, I think, system to really protect our students and to protect our most prized possessions, but keep our campus and our staff, keep our campuses and our school district safe. So thank you and your team for your amazing job that you do. And of course, Mr. Tapia, what a phenomenal leadership in your department as well. I mean, it's incredible the amount of projects we have ongoing, continuing, on a daily basis throughout the entire school year. And you guys keep us on pace, keep us, 95% of the time within budget. And when it's not your fault. It's just the times we live in. And so I can't imagine, I mean, the coordination that you guys do is phenomenal, you and your team. Some of your teammates are even going to go out and take students and inspire our students in some of those projects. So thank you for that. But I can't imagine the amount of oversight, coaching, and accountability you do. And in fact, in some cases, take on the projects yourselves and internally. So just thank you for your exemplary leadership. It's just impressive the way we responsibly spend TRE money and ESSER money and everything else. And so we're really, the community is grateful for you, and we as a board are grateful for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis.
What a terrific report. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to item 9B, consideration of approval of change order number 1 to increase the original contract sum for the Coakley and Vernon Middle School gymnasium renovation project. Mr. Tapia.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, and Dr. Corton, this is the item I just talked about, the change order to increase the number of seats at the gym at Coakley. The proposed change order is in the amount of $83,083.89, bringing the new contract amount to $879,027.89. So we recommend approval for this agenda item.
Thank you. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion for approval of the change order as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Pettis. Do a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Leal. All right, all those in favor of this motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Item 9C, consideration for approval of final construction payment to Gerlach Builders for the Zavala Kitchen renovations project. Mr. Tapia.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, and Dr. Corton. Again, this is a final payment that I presented at the Facilities Committee meeting for Gerlach Builders for the Zavala Kitchen renovations. The final payment is in the amount of $35,750. The board policy does require the board to approve the final payment. And we did use up all the contingency, so we don't have any money coming back to the district, but we had a really good price and a great project, and Ms. Baker's very excited about her new kitchen there at Zavala. It needed a lot of work. So the kids will really enjoy it as well. So we recommend approval.
Thank you.
Madam President, make a motion to approve the final construction payment.
Thank you, Mr. Jaimes.
Second.
Madam President, I just wanted to be noted, I'll be abstaining from this vote.
Thank you. So noted. Thank you, Mr. Jaimes and Mr. Powers. All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right. Now we are going to have item 10, which is a discussion and consideration of approval of a delegate and an alternate to the 2023 Texas Association of School Boards Delegate Assembly. This TASB Delegate Assembly will be held during the TASA-TASB Convention on September 30th in Dallas. HCISD Board of Trustees would like to recommend a board member as the official voting delegate and another board member as the alternate on this delegate. The attending delegate assembly gives the board the chance to participate in the democratic process that governs TASB. Delegates will elect TASB officers and directors, vote on TASB advocacy agenda, and have an opportunity to interact with other board members in the region and earn continuing education training credit.
All right.
Mr. Powers?
Yes, so Madam President, I would like to nominate as our delegate Ricky Leal and as our alternate Dr. Reiniger to the 2023 Texas Association of School Boards Delegate Assembly.
Second the motion.
Quickly, you seconded that motion. I noticed that, sir. All right, all those in favor, as long as Mr. Leal accepts that.
Thank you for your confidence.
There
I
we
look
go.
forward to attending the assembly.
Can we proceed to vote?
Good to vote real quickly.
I'm going anyway.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Leal. All right. We are now adjourned to close our executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meeting Act for the following purposes: to discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff, and discuss items related to personnel. We are now in executive session. Thank you. we're good.
Let's
All right.
go. Allegas.
All right. Welcome back. We are now reconvened into open session for actions on matters discussed in executive session. Do I have a motion for item 12A, please?
Madam President, I move that we approve the hiring of employment as recommended by staff in closed session.
Second?
Thank you, Mr. Powers and Mr. Jaimez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Adjourned.
Thank you.
It is something. 8:20.